This time I have a Sony SLHF600 Super Betamax. The complaint on this one is there's no video from the video output. However, if it hooks up to a TV using the channel 3 modulated output, it has video. So we have a problem in the video output stage. This could be something very simple, such as a broken solder connection, or it could be something a little more complex. I'll tell you right now, it's more complex.
Well, what do we have here? It looks like it's a Sony. It's still all wrapped up. Like it came in the original box with the original packing, and it even included the original factory wrapping. The only thing missing is the yellow tape that they used to secure this when it was new. What is it we have? Make your guess. Heavy. It's very heavy. Anybody guessing what it is yet? Yes, it's a Betamax. And it's broken. Just the way I like them. I'm going to wrap it up as well as it would wrap it up when I send it back. That costs extra.
This is an SLHF600. And this one here, I already know what the complaint is on this. It has no video output. But apparently the RF out works. Let's confirm. All right, first things first, let's load a tape. Looks like it's loading properly. I hear music, but I have a black screen. As you can see, no picture. I'm going to hook up coax to the output and see if we've got anything on the tuner. So this won't be good because I'm going through splitters and stuff backwards, and I've got my own signals generated on here as well, but let's go to channel 3. Whoops, wrong button. And indeed, there is a video output through the modulator, so we know that the video circuit is working. It's just not working through the video out. Let's fix it. So for this, I'm going to just put the tuner audio. I got the cable hooked up to the input now. I don't need to play a tape. I can just use the E to E, and that way we can troubleshoot. First things first, we're going to remove the bottom because that's what I need to check. I got to be checking some of the circuitry in the bottom, namely the video out. On this machine, video comes out from the last video amplifier, and then it takes two different paths. It goes through a buffer transistor, that goes to the modulator, and it goes through another buffer transistor that goes to the output. Now, we know the modulator is working because we have video. Therefore, it's something in the video stage that feeds the output. It could be the jack is broken. That's a possibility. That's a real possibility. But it's also just as likely that the video amplifier is dead for the video out. So here we go. So somewhere in here we're losing signal. This is where a scope comes in handy, and we will be using the scope on this one. So that's video at the modulator. That's the video out for the modulator. We're going to dig a little deeper and get into the video board on this one. It's actually the middle board. The bottom board is the audio, the middle board is the video, and the top board is the tuner and modulator board. So I got to get into the middle board. So there's where I've got video right there. This is fed up from the board below. Got to flip this one out of the way and get to that bottom board. Oh, my little RF cable from the tuner here is not long enough, so I guess I have to disconnect that. So now I just have snow. It's okay, we can play a tape if we have to. But I've got to get down to here, because this is where the magic is happening, is down on this board here. Wide comb filter, pre-emphasis. Our output's going to be in here somewhere. And it's going to take two paths, so I have to get the correct one. I'll just throw my my tape in and let it play. I'll just turn the sound down because it does have music on it. I don't want that playing. The modulator comes up here on CN5, which is this one here. And we have video. Let's trace that back and see where it goes. It's going to go back to a transistor here somewhere. There's going to be a couple of them. But we have video here on CN5. And the other one that has video should be this one here. And I got nothing on this one. I think that's it. Left and right audio, video, and ground for the. This is for the output, the line output. And this one here is for the tuner or the modulator. Let me just trace this back. It's going to go back to this corner here, I think is where it goes. When we trace it back, it goes back to Q509. I think this is the output. Yes, that's the output there. The video's on the base, and this one here has got video on this one. The emitter has nothing. This transistor is not working. Is the transistor bad? Well, it could be a bad filter, or it could be an open resistor, but we have got video on this transistor, which is the buffer for the modulator, and this one here is going to be the buffer for the video out. And we can see, if we look at the base, there's our video going into the base on, this is the transistor, this is Q509, this is the transistor that amplifies the signal for the modulator, and here is the same transistor, well, not the same transistor, this is Q510, but this is the one that amplifies for the video output. You can see the level is different, right? This one's a lot higher. So, is it a capacitor that's bad in here? Could be a bad cap. Could be a bad cap in here. Or this transistor could be bad, or something in this area right in here. This is where our fault is. We can test the transistor and see if the transistor is shot. That's always a possibility. And if we go back a little bit further, you'll see if we look right here, and I'm going to zoom the camera in so you guys can see what I'm showing you. So if you look here, Q508, emitter. I have video. The base is the video input. This is the final output before it goes to two separate paths. We have video right here. And then from here it goes to these two resistors. You can see the trace. And then one ends up over on this transistor, which is the transistor that drives the modulator. And the other one ends up on this transistor here. And we have video here. We have nothing on the emitter, but we have video on this one for the modulator. So this transistor here might be out. It might be bad. But then also this capacitor could be causing it. This resistor here could be open too. Let's just check some voltages on the emitter there. So let me grab a voltmeter. If I probe around, here are the base for both of these, 6.6, almost 4.2. That base voltage looks a little bit lower. Collector on one transistor is 8.9, but this one here is 0. And the emitter is 5.9. This one here is 4.9. Well, again, I've got the video unplugged. If I plug the monitor back in, this one's going to drop down from the loading. So one transistor is actually biased with a power voltage, like 9 volts. This one actually goes to ground because it's biased differently. But the emitter is only measuring 3.2 volts. If I follow that back, it goes through a resistor, and then it's down to 1.8, and it goes to this capacitor here. And I got 1.8 volts on both sides. I wonder if this cap has developed an internal short. That is possible. We'll just unpower the unit, and I'll switch the meter over to ohms, and we'll just measure and see if that cap is shorted. It's possible that this capacitor has got a dead short across it. Oh yeah, 1.5 ohms. 1.5 ohms across that capacitor. Do you think that's normal? I don't think so. That cap there could very well be shorted, and if I put this into diode or into beep mode, I think that cap might be shorted. Let's disconnect it and check it out. It's C535, right down here in the corner of the board, and I can flip this board up to get to it. It's this blue cap back here, I believe. This big little Rubicon back here. We're going to just pull this one out and measure it, or replace it, or whatever. Grab this thing here and get my soldering iron in place and take this one out. Okay, got it. It's 1000 at 6.3 volts. We are in ohms mode. Yeah, that looks pretty shorted to me. And you see, if you're one of these smart asses that says, well, I'm going to measure ESR. Well, of course the ESR is going to measure good because it's shorted. This is one of those situations where your ESR meter will tell you nothing if you're measuring a cap like that because it's shorted DC. If we put the ESR meter on, of course, it's going to give you a good reading. You're going to look at this with an ESR meter and you're going to say, oh, it's 0.14 and it's 1,000 microfarads. Oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine. It's shorted. 1,000 at whatever. Doesn't matter. It's low. It's 6 volts. So 6.3 or whatever it is. 6 volts. Yeah, 6.3. I don't have anything quite that low, but I will have a 1,000 here somewhere. Let me just dig one up. My roll of solder is getting down a bit low. I guess I'm going to have to buy a new roll one of these days. I'm only using these instead of my Klein snips because I seem to have misplaced them at the moment. So these will have to do in a pinch. Okay, the moment of truth. We'll turn this thing on and see if we get a picture. I'll get a picture. I guarantee you I'll get a picture. Guaranteed. Without any question of a doubt, I will get a picture. Yeah, I got a picture. Ta-da! I have a picture. Alright. It was really that simple. Shorted capacitor. That one right down there. That was the one that was bad. The original one was that one. Dead short. Alright, let's put this thing back together. So we'll fold the board back into place. And no, I have not had that fault before on this machine. I had a similar fault on an SLHF600. I think it was a 1000. I'm pretty sure it was a 1000. Similar fault on an SLHF600 a couple of years ago for another guy from Toronto or from Ontario. Plug in my audio and my video, and we have picture, and of course we'll have sound if I turn it up. And anyway, that's that. And of course, if I bring the scope back into play again, just to show you guys a thing or two. So here's the output now. Right, there's the video output. Base emitter. That one is the RF out, and this one is the video out. As you can see, the levels are completely different. This is a much higher level. I think the modulator out only uses like 0.5 volt. See, the modulator output's there, right? And the video output is there. It's a higher signal. See the difference? Modulator video and line out video. That's why the two separate buffer transistors and the way they're wired is a little different. Is because the levels are different. Okay, we'll put this board back down. This one is fixed. Here's our output. And yes, it has sound. Got music on this tape, so gotta be careful. So just gotta do the regular stuff, clean the heads and stuff, and then get it ready to ship back. Before I finish this one up, we're gonna clean the lower and upper drum. We'll move the heads away while I clean the actual drum, because it looks like it's quite dirty. So we move the heads away so that they're not near where I'm cleaning with the cleaning stick. In this case, it's a Q-tip. Clean the audio control head, the erase head, the guides. Wasn't dirty. I mean, this machine looks like it's had no hours on it. It's really clean. Shall we see if this plays a Beta 1S? Actually, this is SHB, so I don't expect this machine to play a tape that was recorded in Beta 1 in super high band. It should be actually quite overmodulated. Yeah, which it is. It'll play it, but it doesn't play it the best. As you can see, the whites are oversaturated. The tracking's a bit off. To turn the tracking control. Of course, this just has the skinny heads, right? So you completely miss track. The Beta 1 machines had 4 heads. They had 2 heads for Beta 1 and 2 heads for Beta 2 and Beta 3. But this machine, if I turn the Super Beta off, it'll probably make it even worse. Super Beta off. Yeah, it doesn't play right. The picture looks too contrasty, right? I don't know how it comes across on the camera here, but no, it doesn't play Beta 1. It's not designed to play. It'll play Beta 1. It's not designed to play Beta 1 super high band, which is what that tape was recorded in. So it needs a SHB machine to play it properly. This tape's got a scratch in it. See, a machine scratched my tape. But that is it. That's just the tape itself. It's got a scratch on it. Okay, this one's all done. I'm just going to throw it back together and get it boxed up and ready to make the long trip back to where it came from, back in Ontario. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.